It's time for our weekly talk with former NDP leader Tom Mulcair, now CTV's increasingly controversial political commentator. He joins us from Montreal. You don't
Only
like being
controversial because
well,
I
I'm going
have
to call you that
to
anyway.
Only because I have to talk to you that it's controversial, Don.
That's good. All right. Quebec Premier François Legault, he's clarified his insistence that Islamophobia doesn't exist in his province, but 2 days ago, he was saying that much, and we're at the second anniversary of the mosque shooting that killed 6 Muslims. Is he right that Islamophobia doesn't exist, or is he in some sort of denial?
Well, he had to walk that back, and he walked it back in a very clumsy manner, saying, well, there was no current of Islamophobia in Quebec, but there were actions of Islamophobia. And then he went ahead and named Isabelle Charret. If that name rings a fairly familiar bell, it's because she used to be an Olympic athlete. He named her Minister of the Status of Women yesterday. And she has been falling down, making these incredibly bad statements, saying that a hijab, a headscarf, is a sign of servitude of women, and it's not it doesn't fit with her own personal values, and therefore it's wrong. And it's just been horrible. She tried to walk that back today, and it got even worse. So there's no end to madness in the approach of the CAQ to this question of religious symbols, Don. It's been terrible.
Why is that? Are they picking up something amongst voter public opinion that says that that's the direction voters want this to go?
This has all the hallmarks of public policy driven by focus group. Mr. Legault has convinced himself that he won because of his position against religious symbols. Read against Muslim women, because that seems to be exactly what gets talked about first and foremost. And their ability, for example, to be a school teacher wearing a hijab, a headscarf. So you have this ridiculous situation where you have 2 women wearing the identical floral scarf. One of them is not Muslim, and she's just wearing it to hold her hair. She's going to get to keep her job. The other one says she's wearing it as a religious symbol. She's going to be fired if she doesn't take it off. It's crazy, but that's where we are.
All right. I got to ask you, I am totally confused as to where the NDP stands on Canada's moves to support regime change in Venezuela. This morning, Hélène Laverdière, she's the foreign affairs critic, says that, no, we're walking back our position, which was that this is a coup and that Canada acted too hastily. And then Jagmeet Singh came out this afternoon, and he says, basically, no, my original position stands. I mean, if you can't get agreement on replacing a dictatorial man who's created a humanitarian crisis, how can you get agreement on anything, Tom Mulcair?
Well, you're missing a third part, which was the caucus chair, Matthew Dubé, very respected MP. As he came out of question period, he was asked about that, and he said, well, Hélène Laverdière has delivered the party position. So against that backdrop, it becomes very difficult to understand. Since the beginning, the NDP's tried to stake out some turf on this that was slightly different from the other parties. What Hélène did, she finessed it. She's a career diplomat. She knows how to do that. She said, look, our real problem with the Liberal position is they didn't do like the Europeans. They didn't give a week and give an ultimatum and give some time to Maduro to organize other elections. That's what we should have done. But now that all that is over, we're supporting Juan Guaido, the opposition leader, and we want to make sure that that Mr. Maduro is gotten rid of. Now, at the same time, we just had, as you just said, out west, a completely different version. So I don't know what the official position is, because the caucus chair and Hélène Laverdière, the foreign affairs critic, are both saying one thing, and apparently something quite different was said by Mr. Singh out west.
Well, I don't get that either. All right, I want to move along because the NDP are at new lows with leadership approval. They're in 4th place in Quebec. You got 3 weeks to go until your seat goes up for a by-election. I hate to keep putting you on the spot on these things as the former leader, but seriously, is there any chance they can win that seat?
Yeah, there is a chance they could win that seat, because I won it 4 times for the NDP, and you have to believe that there's still hope. And Julia Sanchez, in any other election, would be considered by the NDP a true star candidate in Quebec. I can tell you she's running a great campaign. They did a fundraiser recently, got a lot of money. Longtime NDP stalwart and Canada's most respected and best known philosopher, Charles Taylor, gave a speech there. So the base is there. They're working hard for her. There are controversial local issues that seem to be falling in her favor. It is a two-party race right now. It's between the Liberals, who came second last time, and the NDP. It's still going to be a very tough fight, but the 8% range that we've been given for the current polling for the NDP in the province of Quebec, that's not what we're expecting to see in Outremont riding. Julio Sanchez is going to do much better than that. Will it be enough to be able to hold on to the riding? That's the tough part.
All right. Awkward question, because I support this wholeheartedly, but there's a lot of backlash from you coming on the various CTV shows saying you're either bitter and seeking revenge against the party, or you're plotting a comeback personally. You're too caustic about the NDP. How do you plead to this, Tom Mulcair?
Well, you know, if I were in a position of pleading, maybe I would be on the defensive, Don, and anybody who goes back through all of my statements would probably find that I've been rather open and strong in favor of the NDP's positions and its work. But I think that you have to have broader shoulders than that and be able to handle a simple observation on the way things are going. And with 40 years experience in government, I love sharing my observations and comments. And the pundit role, I'm having a ball, and I do it in French and in English. And you know what? Thanks to you, I'm learning my new trade and having a lot of fun doing it.
All right. So in a few months, if you're predicting an NDP majority government, we'll know you really believe it. All right. Tom Mulcair, thanks very much. We appreciate you coming on.
All the best, Don. Take a